Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a Hobby Night live stream. It's been a while. I know we had one earlier this week, but it still feels like it's been forever. And it is lovely to be back here with you doing some actual hobby content today. Now, one of the things that I want to do today, and it's very important. Meg and the Hobby Collab, we've been working together and we're slightly organizing a small league for Blood Bowl that is going to be happening this fall season. And I am so excited to be participating. I haven't participated in a Blood Bowl league in ages, and I love them. I think they're super fun. And I have a brand new team that I would like to bring to the field. And that is going to be my vampire Blood Bowl team, the Darkfang Thirsters. I've already started building them a little bit. I actually have I don't have them out because they're in one of my many containers with built miniatures in them, and I need to find them. But I have built both of I believe these are the runners for the team. I need to double check that. So these two fine ladies here.
Mute shoulder.
Mute
shoulder.
This one? Mute shoulder?
Hi, folks.
Oh! What's shoulder? I don't know what that is. Sorry.
That should help your audio, folks. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry about that. I didn't realize that what is shoulder? What is
the camera that's over your shoulder?
Oh, I am so sorry. I didn't realize that the mic was on for that one. That is completely my bad. Hello, everybody. Does that
tell you to check OBS before you start filming?
He does always.
He never does.
I do, but there's some things that I just don't forget to, like, that I've checked portions of it, but not all of it. That's my problem. They're saying hello to you and saying and hoping that you're having a good day. But yeah, so back to my Blood Bowl team. So I don't have the miniatures available right now to show you because they're in a box somewhere. I think I know where they are. I just don't have them currently. So I have these two fine ladies built, and they have some capes that I haven't actually glued down yet because I wanted to make it easier to paint the rest of their armor. But compliments to Games Workshop in regards to the design for these. The capes actually attach and can kind of hold in place without needing glue. So they look really cool, and it's super easy to get on and off. I love it. I absolutely love it. And then I've also already built, I think it's this guy and this guy. I think it's these two. I think these are the other two that I've already built. They're fully assembled. I did attach the capes because there wasn't a good way to do it separately. But we're gonna work on building the other ones right now because, like I said, those guys are in a box somewhere and I need to find them. And so in the meantime, I could work on building the rest of the team because I need all of them for my upcoming league. That's how you do that's how you fly a plane, is you do some of checks first and then you just rest is probably fine and you just get going. I believe that. That's terrifying. This is why I don't like to fly that much. All right.
I think the settings I made because I don't know, I think better.
I agree. Like even on my preview, I feel like I look crisper. Okay. Like I don't know what you changed,
but I don't know why we did change that, but hey, why not?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just the lighting. Maybe
the lighting's better today.
Yeah, maybe the lighting's just better today, or just better than what we had previously. But who knows? But yeah, I feel like it looks good. Also, hello to everybody in chat. I haven't even said hi to everybody, but hi, you guys are awesome. It's lovely to see everybody. Especially my legionnaires. Hello, Havman. Welcome. Also, Red Panda, good to see you. You're on. Did I move my? I have to remember that I'm slightly near. No, I'm good. I shifted in slightly, but it didn't.
I can move it.
I think I'm okay now. I needed to pull a little bit closer.
I have to disturb the cat.
Oh no, don't disturb the cat. He's precious. Yeah, that's probably better. Then I won't hit it nearly as much.
There you go.
Okay, cool.
And what I can do.
Yeah.
Sorry. Shoulder. And not gonna lose thigh.
Oh, I understand.
Just so they can see them.
Yeah, see the... And I'll try to keep it, like, there.
Yep.
I do plan on painting them pretty close to the box art, Michael. I love the classic Count Dracula vibe that they're going with here, with the black, red, and then the very pale skin. So more than likely, yes, it'll probably be very similar. It may not be like exactly, but I'm definitely going to stick with that color palette. The Hobby Night news is going to be returning in a slightly different way. Instead of doing, and this is something Chaos Cultist and I have sort of been talking about for a little while now, but what we think would be fun to do is kind of how I treated things last stream that I did, where I went on to Warhammer Community, hung out with you guys, and we just kind of all talked about what's going on in the industry. As like the produced stuff was fun for a while, but frankly, there is just not enough actual like hobby news that's relevant out there right now that isn't it just inherently geared towards being hyper negative. And I don't want the channel to get super hyper negative. Like, I don't mind being critical of companies, especially Games Workshop right now, with some of the stuff that they're doing. However, I don't want to be like, I don't want to turn the channel into like a place of negativity and like hate. And so that's one of the reasons I've laid off, is because there just hasn't either been interesting enough stuff, or the stuff that's happening is all extremely negative and just kind of garners hostility. And I don't want to make my channel a place of hostility. I really want to keep it open and friendly and encouraging to do fun hobby related things and gaming related things, because these things should be enjoyable. And while there are definitely some annoying things that the industry does, ultimately, I like to keep things happy and joyful, which is why we're building Blood Bowl right now. Because I love Blood Bowl. It's such a good game system. Hello, Ryu. Welcome. All right, let's see. Okay, so the ones that I've built, because I've just been kind of going in order of the instructions. So I've built both my blitzers and I've built both my runners. Cool, I was correct that the ladies were the runners. So now we're gonna go ahead and build our throwers. Okay, so the throwers were the ones I thought I had built. Oh no, I did point out the blitzers. I got it, I'm remembering. I didn't remember their names properly. Like No, what are those called? Roles? Would that be the team, like your team role? Yeah, whatever their player type, I guess. Yeah, I don't know actually how they qualify them. Okay, we're working on Focus Angela. We're working on the Vampire Throwers, which means I need 16 and 17. It would help if I was looking at the side that showed the numbers instead of staring at a blank side, expecting myself to just be able to magically see through the plastic and know what I'm looking at. It feels so good to be clipping plastic off of sprues. It's been a while. Like, it has genuinely been a while. And oh, we don't need this football to stain.
Without the concern of where are we gonna put it?
Yes, without the concern of where are we gonna put it, because I definitely did some clipping and like building once we had found out we had to move, but it was all very planned. I'm gonna cough for a moment. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Oh, I also don't need this coin on the sprue anymore. I will do that later. It's a pretty cool looking coin, actually. I like the bat. Cute. Oh my god, speaking of cute things, I'm going to a Bloomburrow pre-release tonight, and I'm very excited. It should be a lot of fun. I like the little cute critters. I think they're adorable. Their bases are not in the box. That'll be fun to find. I think they are. I don't think they have...
Blood Bowl does use.
Okay, they just use the flat ones. Good. Hello, Oliver and Peter. Welcome.
I suspect that's when probably out with the big. Oh, there.
I probably did, yeah. They may be with the one built group of dudes, because I may have just put them all together, but yeah. I will, Paul. I will be attending a Bloomburrow pre-release this weekend. Actually, literally tonight at my local game store. I'm very excited. I've actually never... I've been at pre-releases on a technical level because I used to work at a game store and I was there on the days that the game store did their pre-releases. So I have been in a store during a pre-release, but I've only ever experienced it from the retailer side. I've never experienced it as a player going to participate. So I'm very excited to actually be doing that. Especially with such a very cute set. Like, I'm very, like, I've been watching a lot of just like reviews and previews and discussions of the upcoming Bloomburrow set. And I really like what I've been seeing, let alone in all the card art, which we kind of talked about last time. It's all just adorable. Including the anime versions as well as their, I always blank on the term for this. Showcase. Yeah, I don't know why showcase just does not pop into my head super quick. But like their showcase border ones. It's a really cute set of cards, and I'm really excited for the commander potential for it because that's my favorite system to play with when it comes to Magic. And I really like what I've been seeing in regards to the previews of what you can do with commander with some of the new, well, commanders, as well as just the card synergy and such. The gifting mechanic seems like it's gonna be really fun and like pretty powerful, especially in 4-player commander, which I'm hoping to get, like, to be able to do more if commander ends up being a thing at my local store. I haven't really talked to them. I've been to the place like once or twice in the process of us coming out here, but it was in a very, this might be where we're moving to kind of capacity. We haven't gone back since we confirmed it just because we've been so busy. And so this will be the first time we're going in and being like, yeah, this is our local. We're excited. What's the scene like? Working on doing a little bit of filing on my first guy that I've clipped out here. I know it's probably a little faster to do it like in a batch, but I don't know, I like meticulously working on one and then moving on to the next. That should be fun. That sounds really cool. Yeah, I have no idea like what this pre-release event's gonna be like, because like I said, I've never participated on the player side, and it's been even a while since I was at a store hosting one. Like, basically, to put it into context, I haven't been at a pre-release in any capacity since pre-COVID. So it's been years since I've been to one, and I'm very much looking forward to it because I have no idea really what to expect in regards to like turnout or the energy or anything like that. But I feel like people have generally been pretty hyped about this new set, so I'm optimistic it's going to be pretty enthusiastic. At least for the whoever does end up showing up. I have no idea. They weren't doing pre-sales for the pre-order, so I guess they weren't super concerned about having an overwhelming number of people, which makes sense. This is not like a humongous community, and I can only imagine there's a certain scale of like nerd in the area. So it should be pretty fun. It should be low-key, kind of casual, which is exactly what I'm looking for my first experience. So oh yeah, no, it did. It looks super, super good. Okay, I think I think we need to do this ×2, so now that I've cleaned up that one, oh, I guess I need to clean up this leg. Let's do the other leg, and then we'll glue it down, and then while we're letting that dry, we'll clip out the next guy. I'm hoping to get some of the commander decks for the Bloomburrow sets. I know Chaos Cultist is interested in the squirrel one. Squirrel! And then I want the raccoon one, the red-green deck. Specifically because the box describes it as, well, what was it? What did it say? It was like collect trash. It was something about trash, and it was just really funny. It was basically calling him out as a trash panda, and I just thought that was super cute. I also realized, hold on, I haven't got my link up for my Instagram. I started to, but then didn't finish it. So let me just do that real quick. Join me. Live streaming. No, not love streaming. A different kind of thing. Live streaming. I'm live. And tell people what I'm doing. Painting? No, not painting. Building. We're building. Blood Bowl. Don't lie to the people. Yeah. Blood Bowl. Vampires. All caps, because I love them. Yay, vampires. Stupid emoji. I wish they had, I genuinely wish there was a better vampire emoji. None of them are nearly hot enough. I'm disappointed. There we go. Did it. I shared it. Now what was, oh, I was looking up. Oh, I was gonna look up what the box art said, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's talking about trash pandas. Evening, Alf. Yes, make trash do smash. That's what it was. It was make trash do smash. it was so dumb sounding, and I loved it. And that immediately. That and the raccoon looks. I mean, he was the most sinister looking one of all of them. Let's be honest. Like, why there isn't a bat as one of the commanders? I'm disappointed. I do think, I will be honest, and I don't really, okay, of all of the art that they have in Bloomburrow, I do like all of it. I do like all of it, but my least favorite are the bunnies. I'm just not a huge, like, I like bunny girls, but that's a very different thing from, like, actual bunnies. And while some of them are cute, they're a little too just, like, wholesome for me, I guess, is the problem. I don't know. But, like, I don't like the bunnies, but I really think I'd probably enjoy how the bunny commander deck, Mrs. Bloom, whatever her name is, I can't remember now, or something Bloom, I can't remember, but, like, it's a green, red, blue deck, or no, it's a green, white, blue deck, I believe. Yeah, green, white, blue. And I'm not a big blue player. Like, I don't normally use a lot of counter spells or control like that. And a lot of these commanders are about control. You know, actually, I just realized, like, three, is the squirrel commander deck, is that one also a tricolor? Okay, so there's 2 duo color and 2 tricolor. Okay, it was interesting because we were watching, was it Gavin who was doing the pre-release thing that we were watching? It was an official, like, Magic person.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Okay, we were watching, like, an official, like, somebody who works at Magic, doing a pre-release unboxing and then talking about, like, building decks in a pre-release. And in this particular one, it really looks like the cards are geared, or the set is geared to be duo. But I find it interesting that they still, I mean, I guess this is just because you can have the splash of another color, but I find it interesting that they had 2 commander decks that were tricolor instead of focusing on just, like, making it dual color. Because I would, like, a pure white green, I would have, even with bunnies, I probably would have been like, yeah, that's me, because I love white green. I love white green so much. It's what I play most frequently. I like flyers, and I like them being beefy strong. Let's get some glue. Leg. Onto the other half of it for a better joint. Shove it in there. Seal up the glue. Don't stink up the room. Oh yeah. It really does feel good to be like building miniatures again. Okay, he's good. We're gonna let him dry and we're gonna clip out the other boy. Oh, I hadn't really looked at the... Hold on, let me get him out and then I'll show him to you in a little bit more detail. I hadn't actually looked at the outfit he was wearing. I love... What is that scarf or the necktie style where it's sort of like... Is that what it's called? A cravat? Where it's got the plumy stuff at the...
Oh, yeah. That's part of the shirt.
Oh, is it? Because like in the... Here. Look at his tie sculpt thing.
That's a cravat.
It's a cravat? Okay.
That's not...
Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, I thought it was...
You said it was part of his shirt.
No, I didn't. You were saying that it's...
You said it was the fluffy part of the shirt.
Did I say that? Oh, okay.
Replay the footage.
Replay the footage, because I thought I was saying that it was like a fluff... I said it was a knotted and then it had the fluffy stuff at the end.
That's not what you said.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get out if I didn't say... That's what I meant. I'm so sorry.
You said the fluffy part of the shirt.
Maybe I did. Maybe I did. What do the colors mean? What do you mean, what are the colors? Oh, like the red and black, you mean that I want to paint them? It's just their team uniform. Oh, the MTG colors. I understand. Got it. Sorry, I thought you meant about painting. So when it comes to the colors, it's the land, or the magic, basically, that you're pulling.
Oh, the game designer in the room would love to hear color theory about magic. I've had classes on it.
Oh, I'm sure you have. Okay, so basically in Magic, there are 5 core colors that you can pull from.
As graced upon us by His Holiness Andrew Goff.
Yeah, exactly. Andrew Garfield.
Not Andrew Garfield.
No, isn't that his name? Richard Garfield. Sorry, you're
the actor who played Spider-Man.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I was like, but that's a legitimate name though that I know from something.
Yes,
so Richard Garfield and his
The Great Orange Cat.
Yes. So the great game designer that is Richard Garfield.
There are 4 archetypes that follow 5 distinct colors. Each of those colors represents a different part of magic. Black represents death and allows you to make things from the card. Blue means you're an asshole. White means that you run a lot of small guys who like to fly. They're and then you have red, which is depression, fire, damage, goblin, but doesn't tend to last.
Did you go over black?
Yes.
Okay, I missed that. Okay, so yeah, so basically there's 5 mana types in Magic. Black, red, green, blue, white. Each of them is associated, as he said, with like a particular play style. Red being aggressive, green being big, beefy creatures that come in generally late game or like... Yeah, they're kind of a late game
sort of strategy. Then you've got blue, which are a lot of board control. And so they throw a lot of counter spells. And one of the reasons people think they are assholes is because, and this is a reason I don't personally like playing against blue myself as well, but oftentimes when it comes to blue, they will counter you casting any of your cards, which means that you just don't get to do things with those cards, because they'll either like prevent you from being able to use it, which means it has to be discarded and put into your graveyard, which can be beneficial depending on what kind of deck you are running, because there are decks that pull a lot out of their graveyard. But for somebody who's like a white player or a white-green player who doesn't have a lot of graveyard pull, I hate playing against blue because they just send all my cool stuff to my graveyard, and then I don't get to actually play with how my deck was built to play, and I find it annoying. And that's why people sometimes think they're like not really fun to play against. White has a lot of healing and flying, and represents order, and then as I mentioned, black tends to pull from the graveyard a lot, and is a lot of like undead, etc. life manipulation, which is really fun. And then you can mix and match them depending on how you want to play. So like, because I like to play white-green, for example, I like to play a lot of healing, so I keep my own health up, I can keep my minions' health up, and they often are flying, which means that it's harder for sometimes my opponents to be able to hit them, because you can only block a flying creature that has either with a creature that has reach or is itself flying, because they're up in the air, and otherwise you can't block them. And so there's some fun stuff there, and then I can make those things really big because I have the green counterpoint. So I'll have like a lot of really big creatures that maybe are on the ground, but they may also beef up my other creatures, because a lot of like green tends to add +1/+1 counters to other minions. And it's not always meant to be like other green creatures. It can end up being whatever creatures you may have in your deck. Which is why you can really mix and match. And some people, I almost said Games Workshop, but Wizards of the Coast has literally sold commander decks like this. You can go crazy and just do all 5 colors, if you really wanted to. In addition to the colors, just to like add a little bit more to this, there are also colorless cards, which don't require... Yeah, they're Eldritch, and they don't require a specific mana type. You can use any of the mana types to cast them, and those ones tend to be quite powerful because they aren't, like, linked to a specific color, or they can be real shit because they're not linked to a specific color. It's really kind of hit or miss. I have played Baldur's Gate 3, not all the way through. I've only really gotten to chapter, like, the beginning of chapter 2. Or Act 2, sorry, not chapter 2, Act 2. But I've not actually gotten to Baldur's Gate in Baldur's Gate. But I've watched enough like people talk about it and play through it themselves. It's something that I definitely want to do. And in fact, we might be doing it on the gaming channel at some point with an evil playthrough. Yeah, once everything's moved and we're actually like, well, everything's moved, but we need to like finish unboxing everything and make sure that like the house is all set up, and then we can do some longer format streams, and that's when we'll play Baldur's Gate 3 all the way through. And I plan on being an evil person because I've played it a little bit as like the good guy, and I feel like you see a lot of people play through as like a hero. So I'm gonna go in and like side with the goblins or see where it takes us. All right, he's looking good. Have I clipped out his leg? No. Let's clip out the leg. Yeah, Peter has a great breakdown of it. With white is paladins, flying, artifacts. Blue is knowledge, magic, and spells. Black is undead, self-damage, and revive. And necro. Red is fire and goblins, direct damage with fireballs, and green is big monsters and elves. Yes, that is definitely how they break it down. When's patch 7 coming out? And what about it is causing you to wait before you do another playthrough? That's the other reason that I've like wanted to go back and play through it again, and why I haven't really continued on with my initial campaign of it is because I'm like, well, I know they've done a bunch of updates since I started it and where they are now, so I might as well just start a fresh campaign. But instead, like I said, instead of being like a goody two-shoe, I figured let's go through and be a bad guy. I don't do that very often. Go. Some cute. Red Black is a great combo, Overlord Tweak. I've played that a little bit. I don't do red as much as like I sometimes want to, because I'm bad about playing aggressively. But that's one of the reasons I actually want to get the red-green deck for the commander set for Bloomburrow, is because I want to try to grok playing a more aggressive deck like that, and I think that might do it for me, because I do really still like my big creatures. Like I still having some late game stuff, so I'm curious to see how it'll play. Oh man, yeah, it can get quite expensive. I used to have arguments at my college game club because the Magic players insisted that their hobby was cheaper than being into Warhammer 40k. And I'm like, I looked at them and was like, what are you talking about? They are both equally expensive. And in theory, Magic is more expensive because, hypothetically, when it comes to Warhammer 40k, because it was a slower, like this is back when, like, 4th had transitioned into 5th edition for 40k, so it was, like, I believe?
1,000.
So, okay, around 2009. And so you could, in theory, buy a games like a Warhammer 40k army to the scale that you want to get it to and stop. And then realistically maybe have to pick up some new books, maybe a model or two, but like there was a like there's a finite point that you could hit of what you realistically needed to purchase when it comes to Warhammer. Theoretically. No one does that because we're all collectors at heart and we just have a need to just constantly hit that crack addiction of like plastic crack, right? But like you could in theory stop and have a complete army that is completely usable and playable in a local casual community. Whereas if you were wanting, and you could do technically maybe the same thing in Magic on a casual level, but these people were trying to play competitively and they made that a point in their arguments. And I'm like, I still do not believe that 40k back then would have been more expensive competitively than Magic, because with Magic, you have to stay on top of the meta, which means that you have to constantly be buying packs in every new set that comes out, or shilling out whatever amount of money for buying singles to get the good cards from those sets so that you aren't having to do that, which still ends up getting quite expensive because like those cards actually have a secondary market value in a way that 40k products do not. And so like they argued with me all the time about this. I'm like, you were just wrong. Like they're both expensive, especially to get into to begin with, because you got to drop either a lot to like get a big enough card collection or drop a lot to get enough of a plastic collection to play either game. So they're both expensive to start with, but I feel like you are going to throw down more money long term if you stay playing Magic and trying to stick with keeping up with Standard, because or modern because it cycled. And so like I don't know, it was so silly to me. This is such a silly like argument that I would have with it. And my roommate was one of the biggest people to fight with me about this, and he brought it home too, and I was like, could you please stop? I don't want to have this conversation with you anymore. You can believe that your hobby's cheaper. It's not. Like, you were buying multiple packs a day. And they were still like $3.99 back then or whatever.
We got rares the value of a night.
Right? Like, yeah, I have rare cards that are the value of a night. And I'm like, that alone should show you that Magic is going to be more expensive, because even if you're buying singles, which a lot of people encourage you to do so that you're not just blowing wads of cash on pack opening for these really low percentage cards to potentially pull, like, you're going to still spend so much. The Amazons are fun as a Blood Bowl team, but I love vampires. I love vampires so much. I can't not do a vampire team, especially since they're like fresh and new. Have they updated? Have we gotten an updated Amazonian team in the last couple years? I want to say yes, but I'm not 100% sure. All right, now we need 18 and 19. I wonder if I can keep the cloak off. I'm gonna see how this sits on here. Make that determination, because like, it makes it easier to paint. I can keep it off for the time being, especially getting the underside. Especially if I want to do a dual color tone. But the thing is you don't have to paint things, especially if you're playing casually. Like, sure, yeah, maybe if you're doing competitive, because you have to get things painted, and you may like not like to do that yourself, and therefore spending more money commissioning somebody doing it. But time-wise, you're still spending a bunch of time sleeving cards, organizing cards, building decks in the same way that you're building armies. So I feel like I still feel like they're both very expensive hobbies. I guess that was my point. Is like, it was just funny to me that they were arguing it, because I'm like, no, they're both expensive. Why does this have to be a competition? We both spend an extraordinary amount of money on useless, frivolous products. Because it's all luxury. Don't you feel luxurious right now? Shaving away at your tiny plastic toys? Yes, I do. You know what? It wasn't meant to be, but yes, it should be. That is my oxymoron, yes. My fresh new vampires. I just dug them up yesterday. Almost threw the plastic on the floor. Could have been a disaster. Absolutely traumatic. There it is. I was like, there was a little bit of like stuff that I saw, and I lost it when I threw the piece. There we go. See, that's great. And well, and the other thing too, when it comes to like painting the like your hobby stuff, a lot of like game stores will have painting nights where they will provide paints so that you can like learn how to do it and stuff. And those are great to like go and get your army started on. Take advantage of it. Learn some new cool tricks from whoever's running it potentially, and just like have a good time. Oh, I see. Okay, we're definitely gonna have to attach these. Alright, it'll be fine. It'll make painting that one leg a little bit of a pain in the butt, but shouldn't be too bad. Exactly, Peter. I mean, really, yeah. I mean, they are still all expensive. It's just that we enjoy doing them, which is what makes them worth the expense, right? We are all lucky enough to have time to dedicate to our hobbies, which is lovely. And I personally am grateful for. Okay, hold on. I love that in the back of the cape. Hold on, I had a really good shot of it. Okay, do you see the butt imprint? It's so good. It's right there. Look at that little imprint of his cheeks. So dumb. Wonderful. Oh, my eyes sting from the glue. That's how you know it's working. Smush that butt into those imprints. So stupid. You know, at least the nice thing, especially when it comes to either Magic or Warhammer, the hobby is also useful in other ways, which is great. Like, that's one of the reasons I think I ended up getting into it so much, is because it was a multifaceted addiction to be able to get into. Because, like, not only do I have the artsy craft side of it, of building and painting miniatures, or being able to enjoy and collecting really cool art when it comes to Magic, but then there's also the game side of it, which adds a whole nother layer of something to do with all these things that I've collected. Sorry, I am like pulling my hair a little bit. Where it was getting stuck, but somewhere on my headphones it was getting stuck on. It was driving me nuts. Okay, we got his cloak on. Let's get the other guy's cloak on. Look at us making good progress. That's a good question. Do video games costs come anywhere close to as expensive as Warhammer and Magic?
It depends on how you live.
I think it depends on, yeah, like, as Chaos Cultist just said, I think it really depends on how you live, because modernly, like, okay, it also depends on what time period you're talking about, because
Xbox game.
yeah, like, before there was stuff like Xbox Game Pass, or what Epic does, where they give you like free games literally every month that you can then just play at any point, because as long as you've claimed them, you have those games. On top of there just being an excess of free-to-play games that are just on the internet or on your cell phone, compared to like when games were very new and the only way to play them was on very specific hardware, or like if you had a good enough PC, depending on like which era it is, or depending on like when it was just consoles like the NES or those kinds of things before there was like internet connectivity. I would say that games can, like, video game collecting can be as expensive as Warhammer or Magic if you are going for the vintage, hard to find, out of print stuff, and you want to physically have a thing that is a cartridge, for example. But like modernly, you have an Xbox Game Pass, you can have thousands of games to play for like a $10.99 or whatever fee it is. I don't. Is it $20 now? Okay, whatever.
Just raise the price.
Okay, so I think Xbox just raised the price, is what Chaos Cultist is saying. And so like okay, even for $20 a month though, you can end up with thousands of games to play that will take you years to get through. And not have, and you're only spending $20 a month. And I don't think that in that circumstance, no, I don't think it's as expensive. If you are, like I said, if you're trying to collect, like you want an OG, like perfect condition NES plus NES games that are also in high quality, sealed packaging kind of thing, yeah, you can absolutely be spending a pretty penny on that and potentially go into the same volume of cash as especially Magic or 40K players go into, or just Warhammer players in general. But I think like there are definitely ways to get around that and not spend that much money on video games in the modern day and age. Back in the day, no. Is what real life? The stream? Yes. You'll have to clarify about what about this is the real life part, Mr. Donovan. Yeah, you could also, like, you could have started like an OG WoW account, paid like $12 a month forever, and just done that, and like probably gotten the same hours worth of content and entertainment, but like not paid nearly as much as say a Magic or 40K player would. Like there's definitely like the thing, it's kind of hard to compare because unlike Magic or 40K, there is not necessarily a need for, like, there's no physical component necessary other than a device to be able to play said games on because of stuff like Steam, Xbox Game Pass, etc. Whereas with 40K, like, yeah, you can use Tabletop Simulator and other programs to simulate playing an in-game, like, game of Warhammer 40K or Age of Sigmar or whatever miniature game that you want to, whether it's Games Workshop products or not. You can simulate that and therefore not spend, like, anything on your miniatures. But most people who, like, want to play those games want to physically play those games. Like, that is part of the enjoyment of playing those games. And I think the same thing is true of Magic. Maybe a little bit less so because I'm sure there are some diehard Magic fans who got into it through Magic Arena or the old Magic Online game, and therefore maybe have never really been into the physical Magic game, and going into like game stores and playing there, but like they've only ever done it online. So there is definitely, I'm sure, instances, and that may be growing instances of that, but I feel like there is a inherent physical component to tabletop gaming, hence it being tabletop, that is just, will always kind of keep it a certain level of expensive over top a digital product, because there is a physical labor or like construction or manufacturing that has to be put into it on top of the hours of design, iteration, development, R&R, etc., which games and everything still like go through. Like there's still plenty of energy and people's work go into these things, but it's different types. I'm sure some of them are worth quite a bit, especially if they're in decent condition and they're like OG. I think there's one PlayStation 2. Is it PlayStation 2 or PlayStation 1, Shadow Hearts?
Shadow Hearts was
PS2. Yeah, there's one.
the original one might have been.
And those are the ones like we are always looking for whenever we go into. Yeah, I was like, there's one video game in particular. Actually, there's two. There's two video games in particular that every time we go into any vintage video game store, Chaos Cultist and I always look for. Skies of Arcadia, because god damn it, really good game. And then Shadow Hearts 2 for the PlayStation 2 would definitely be the ones that we're like always searching for. I think we've seen Shadow Hearts in like a store once, but it was like $200, which realistically probably isn't like an unreasonable amount for a very well loved out of print game with no foreseeable remake in the future. That's one we've never heard like talked about as in regards to
Shadow Hearts?
yeah.
Nah, it's lost RPG.
Is the Skies of Arcadia remake still? Oh, okay. That's a bummer. I would love for like, because I never played it. I never played OG Skies of Arcadia. I've just been watching I've watched Chaos Cultist play it, and I've watched I'm watching Many a True Nerd play it because I think he's got that's still going on, right?
Yeah,
I was gonna say, yeah, we haven't caught up with that. We have, and I want to actually pay attention to that one because I like that game. So yeah, something that I would be looking for. Nice. I hope you end up being able to get your Ultimate Edition of Space Marine 2. I actually don't remember. What does the Ultimate Edition come with? Like, what are the extra things that you get? I know, like, there's some digital bonuses. Do you get, like, physical bonuses, too? Do you guys remember when video games used to, like, come with paper or cloth maps? Yes, I do, because Divinity Original Sin 2 had one, and dude, it's the last game I can remember too. And then Oblivion, I didn't get that one, but I remember I'm so jealous. I don't think we have it anymore, right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay. Yeah, like those are the only two like that I remember, but like I wish they did that more. Could you imagine if Space Marine 2 came with a cloth map of like the sector of space they were in or something? Like, that would be so sick. That's true, Overlord Tweak. I think the going back to the can a digital game, like buying digital games, get as expensive as buying like physical, like Magic and stuff like that? Normally, no, but Overlord Tweak makes a good call of the free-to-plays with microtransactions, like the gacha games, for example. Like, one of the reasons I had to stop playing Honkai Star Rail is because I do have an addictive personality, and I do like opening packs, and so the unlocking cards and trying to get my waifus and husbandos was too much for me, and I had to step away from it. Because otherwise I could see myself just dropping an unnecessary and too large and, frankly, like, bad amount of cash on trying to get my waifus. And so yes, there's definitely ways you can, but I think the thing is like with those kinds of game systems, and I'm not saying Hoyoverse is specifically trying to be predatory, but sometimes those games are inherently designed by bad eggs who are trying to get those addictive personalities, like those gambling personalities. And it's not all of them. It's not all of them, but there are some bad apples out there who do try to do that shit. And yeah, they're just be careful with online, like with phone games especially, because people can just spend an extraordinary amount of money on that. Okay, you do get the statue of Lieutenant Titus. Okay, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. The statue's great. You get the season pass, some armor stuff, DLC content, 4-day early access. I hope the 4-day early access actually works. I know sometimes I've heard of other games like trying to give early access to pre-order people, and that it doesn't happen. And it's kind of like, well, I paid for this to be able to play it before anybody else. Thank you. Why didn't you let me do that? So hopefully that actually works out. All right. We're nearly to putting these guys' heads on, making them look extra cool, but we need their arms. They're very batty arms. All right, we need 19, which is this one. I started to say that with a slight German accent because just before this, we watched the what's his name? Werner Herzog, the thing that he did talking about like the penguins, the deranged penguins. And so I was in that mode. All right, we got to be careful because GW does this. They put a sprue connection point on a fragile detail on his wing. Why would they do this? Okay, if you are wanting to get into Blood Bowl for the first time, ooh, okay. How familiar, like Mikey, how familiar are you with how the game plays? Like, have you played the Blood Bowl 2 digital game, like on Steam? Have you played that one, or are you a complete? I've never played this system. I'm unfamiliar with the system and how it works.
Play Blood Bowl 2.
I do recommend, like, honestly, to learn the game, I would play Blood Bowl 2. Not three, not the most recent one. You want to get Blood Bowl 2 to learn the game. But in regards to, like, so Blood Bowl does have recommendations for complexity for their units. I don't remember, do they say it on the boxes? It might, yeah, hold on, let me see if it's in the paper book. I just want to see, like, if it says anything on here about, like, recommendation. Because some of the reason I'm asking, you're a complete noob, so you've never played before. Okay, so in order to learn the game, I would highly recommend, especially if you don't have a good local community that has people playing it, then definitely pick up Blood Bowl 2 and play that, because that will help teach you the rules of the game. It is very, very almost identical to the tabletop version, and it's how I actually taught myself alongside reading the rule book. Like, I did both, and it really helped me just wrap my head a little bit more around the game. And honestly, I'll probably go back and play a little bit of it leading up to my first game in the league, because it's been a while since I've played. In regards to relatively simple armies to build, like, or teams to jump into, humans are definitely a very easy classic one to get into, as well as the elves. Orc are also elves are not. You don't think the high elves?
I find they're very volatile because they can
Oh, that's true. Throwing is a little bit okay. Maybe not elves. Scratch the elves. So humans, orcs, dwarves. Dwarves are actually pretty straightforward if I remember correctly. And then the first undead team is relatively straightforward, because it's a lot of zombies and they just have, like, they kind of get back up, which is nice. So you have less injuries to deal with. It's one of the reasons I actually really enjoyed when I ran my necromantic horrors. They did not get injured a lot. I am very worried. I have not fully looked over the special rules for my vampires. I don't know if they have that ability. And if they don't, oh boy, am I looking forward to people dying. How that happens, how these vampires die, maybe they get thrown in the sun or something, I don't know. But whatever, I'm expecting them to die. Human teams definitely would be a great ones for, yeah, the Reichland team, the Reichland Reavers, which is the new one. Like, okay, to be honest, and I don't like necessarily always recommending GW's like actual starter sets as intro sets, because sometimes they're a little expensive. But if you can afford to get the Blood Bowl 3 or Blood Bowl 2, I don't remember what edition we're on. Hold on, let me look up the edition we're on, because it's whatever the most recent starter set was, not Blood Bowl Dungeons, because that is technically the most recent starter set, like the big box set that they've done for Blood Bowl. But the actual starter set that comes with the Reichland Reavers and the new orc team is actually a really good starter set. It will get you a great intro team, but actually 2 great intro teams to play with, because the orcs are also pretty straightforward and the humans are pretty straightforward. In addition to that, you do get, I believe, 2 referee miniatures to just have, and which is just kind of fun as an extra, like, I have my ref there and I've paid them off, etc., like for just like funsies. So that will be in there, and then like it gets you the board and the rule book and everything that you need to play. So like I do agree with Michael that the 2-player starter set that has the Reichland Reavers in it is a really good, very beginner friendly set. Yeah, dwarves, humans, and orcs, I would say, are probably the best like starter ones. Now, if you are relatively mechanic savvy, like if you're confident with your ability in other GW game systems, and you are confident with your ability to grok their rules system, then I think you could jump into a slightly more advanced team and realistically base it on aesthetic. Because when I got into it, like the first team that I actually played in a league, like an actual league with, was the Necromantic Horrors, which is not necessarily a super like noob friendly team, but I was still pretty noobish at that time. But I understand, I think, like I have enough game literacy that I think I was able to overcome that and understand the slightly more complex rule system that I was playing with. The other thing that I will say about the Blood Bowl community, at least in my personal experience, they are very, very willing to teach you. And if you let them know, hey, I'm kind of new to this, can I ask you questions as we're playing? Most of the time, they'll be fine and they'll kind of help you learn things and like know how to play your team. Vampires have bloodlust, which is interesting. The black orcs are excellent. Yeah, see, the black orcs are the ones for that also come in the starter set. So really, I would definitely, if you can find either a really good deal on it or you just have the spare cash, I would say get the new starter set for Blood Bowl because it is excellent. Clean up on the football that he's carrying. But again, a sprue joint on a seam on a edge that should be sharp because that makes sense. You're definitely not going to ruin that when you clip it. Can you feel my bitterness toward their sprue layout design? You're good though. Yeah, don't get Blood Bowl 3. Blood Bowl 3 isn't worth it. Blood Bowl 2 is worth it though. I think the problem with Blood Bowl 1 at this point is it just isn't as one-to-one with the actual real-life tabletop rules, and it's just jankier because it's older. Oh, I will definitely be playing as, for my first Chaos Marine in Space Marine 2, like in the multiplayer stuff, it'll definitely be Death Guard. Without a doubt. My boys, my stinky boys. Oh, how I love them. They are so smelly. And Papa Nurgle loves them. I love all the various themed pitches that you can buy. Like such a like actual fun accessory idea. Because like you can get pitches for the various teams as if it's their home stadium, and I really want to get the necromantic horror one. Have they come out? I actually haven't looked. Have they come out with one for the vampires? Oliver, well, it was lovely to have you here. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if they have got one for the vampires, that's awesome. Yeah, they are one of my favorites. I mean, they are probably like my favorite. I played them the most. Back in when 8th edition came out, that's the army I started with because I was like, well, I want to get the starter set because I haven't played since 5th. It's been a long time, so I have no idea what I'm doing anymore. Let's get the new rulebook. Let's get the new starter set. And I played Death Guard and fell in love with them. I love their Disgustingly Resilient, the old one, the 8th edition one. Back when it was good. And played with them through the entire 8th edition. Switched over to Orcs in 9th edition, but ended up not getting that many games in with them. And then played Tyranids for 10th for a little bit. I did enjoy Combat Patrol. I like the smaller scale, faster battles. But they kind of got repetitive because you were limited to your one army makeup, and there wasn't really flexibility there, so that kind of got boring. And then the big game, just they were constantly changing the rules, and as I ranted last time, I don't enjoy the direction that Games Workshop is taking the product, both rules wise or aesthetically, and so it's one of the reasons why I'm sticking with Blood Bowl, baby, because they aren't borking this design bible. They're making them goofy still, and they look appropriate. They fit the lore. They fit their own, like, stories for their models. Amazing. Insane. What a wild concept. Alright, we gotta be careful clipping this boy out. He is got fragile bat wings. Very fragile bat wings. Alright, first fragile batwing breed. Get the other one out. Let's not set sprue down on top of it and accidentally break those precious little claws, which I will probably do so at some point in the future. I will bend one and I'll cry. I agree. There's obviously, yes, a balance that you have to get. Like, you don't want to make a model so busy that it's unreadable or can't, like, the silhouette doesn't look good from afar, etc. But, like, there's just such a lack of stuff, frankly, on a lot of the 40k models modernly, especially when it comes to the Imperium. Just, it bothers me so much. Like, I don't mind change. They can absolutely, like, change things, make them different, like, do updated designs. I am all about getting some updated designs. I want fresh, sharper, cleaner looking sculpts like what they've been giving us in the last 10 years. But I don't want those sculpts to be plain and devoid of all of their, like, texture and detail. All right, there we go. I think that we can. Too much pressure on the little claw. Sure, plastic. Release. Release me. Oh, that would be really cool. Yeah, no, doing an underwater Death Guard like scheme. That sounds really fun because you can play with a lot of blues, some cyans, like you said, a lot of purples as well, with all, like the way that like skin bloats and discolors as it, you know, bloats, as it absorbs all that moisture. So that could be really fun. You could also end up kit bashing, like if you actually are going to end up having them be sort of underwatery types, you could put coral growths on them. Like if you're comfortable doing sculpting, you could absolutely green stuff sculpt that on. Or you could I think like Green Stuff World and a couple other companies like them sell little coral pieces for doing like plant life. It works really well. I think I've seen some people do it with the Idenith Deepkin from Age of Sigmar. Or they're like underwater elves or whatever. I think that's the name of them. And it'd be really cool. Like I could see something like that working really well for some underwater Death Guard. That'd be cool. Yeah. Where do these arms attach? There. Yeah, I definitely would not have been able to do this guy without full assembly. Just had it. There we go. Batwing. Coming together very nicely. These guys are probably going to be a little bit of a pain to paint. But we'll just have to take our time. Looking forward to painting the bat wings. They're probably going to end up looking really... Nice. Alright, let's see how the other arm fits. I think it wraps like in front of. He's like guarding his... Oh, there, he's about to throw it. Okay, that makes sense. Got it. Alright, I think it's coming together. You know, I actually haven't tried Blood Bowl 7s. I remember when they announced it, I was extremely excited about it. And the store I was working at the time originally had plans to possibly do a Blood Bowl 7 like league for the staff because everybody was kind of interested, and then it never ended up happening. And then eventually we did actually have like a publicly run league at that store, which was cool, but yeah, the staff specific one didn't end up happening, and 7s was what we were originally going to do because it seemed a little simpler because it's smaller, less to have to purchase, right? Or invest into, or even build and paint. But yeah, no, we never ended up doing it. Have you tried it? Do you like it? And what's the difference between it and Blitz Bowl? It's pretty fun stuff to work with if you've never tried green stuff before. And coral will be pretty easy to sculpt, I think, especially if you just did some like, you know, you don't have to make them super big or anything like that. But yeah, it could be really fun to do. You also could potentially, if you have a 3D printer, you could always see if there's any STLs out there of little coral shapes and such, and you could even just scale some larger ones down to fit onto the models, because I feel like you could really incorporate that easily and around a lot of the like horns that they have sticking out of them. Heck, you could even potentially like clip the horns and at the base, like use the where you clip off as the base and then stick the coral piece in its place, so that instead of the horns, it is literally just the coral has grown out of them because they've been underwater for the duration of, you know, their corruption. That could be really fun. I really like this idea, actually. I think it's a really cool idea. I've seen some underwater concepts for Death Guard before, but it's mostly been just sort of more icy, I believe, rather than like full-blown under the sea sort of undead. Under the sea. Under the sea. I don't remember the rest of the song. Also, I don't want to get copyright struck by Disney. But yeah, I think that could be really cool. Going like full-blown, almost Subnautica style. These guys are gonna be wild to paint. All right. Well, that's drying. We just need to... I didn't have to use this on both of them. Okay. Pop this guy's arm off. Take that off. I can have the pointing hand. I missed that as my option. I shall point dramatically. Here it is, 20. They really did not make that super obvious. I think that's what you do in Blitz Bowl too, because isn't like, if I'm misremembering, please do correct me, but I thought that Blood Bowl was like 14 core players, like 12 to 14 core players. And so I know Blitzbolt is like that halved. So it's either 6 or 7 players that you're playing with. Could be really fun. I haven't done anything with my Death Guard on the channel in ages. I do still have miniatures of that to paint. Could be a fun challenge. See if we can smooth that seam. Pressure on his little pointy fingers, though. We don't want to break those. There we go. Beautiful. Now he's pointing at you very dramatically. Rawr. You. I'm throwing the ball to you. You better catch it or I'll come over there and suck your blood. That's what he's saying. Alright. Heads. We have some choices. We're going to do 122 and 123. A 22 and a 23. So vicious. Oh my god. 32 is such a gorgeous, long-haired, bearded man. Is he a zombie? I think he might be a zombie. 22 and what was I saying? 23? Where is 23? There it is. Oop. I'm gonna have some great spare vampire heads. On these sprues. Blood Bowl sprues are actually a great way if you want some like slightly unique head sculpts for your existing like 40k or fantasy armies. If you can find somebody selling like an unused team or like the sprues off of them, you can get like some really cool facial expressions and such with especially the modern kits, which is just really fun. Got that one. Let's get the other one. We'll glue them both down. Oh my gosh, my cat is sneezing. It is the most adorable sneeze I've ever heard. Alright, first one. Let's dual tack. Thank you, Mikey. Very happy with how they're turning out so far. They are cool looking. But I rarely think vampires don't look cool. There are some. There are indeed some. But it's rare. Stick. Very forward heavy. Go figure with your giant batwing. Alright. Bro who's screaming, go long! I want to suck your blood, go long! Bam! It says no. Oh, it's fine. There we go. Better. There they are. My throwers. They're beautiful. Alright, who do we got next? A pair of... Oh, I'm sorry. Not a pair. A singular Thrall lineman. 25 and 24. This should be actually pretty quick to put together because it's just a Thrall. Just a mere Thrall. I need to check something. Okay, so they just gave them each unique sculpts. Understood. It says Thrall Lineman Pair A, and then it gives me 2 different builds, and I'm like, does that mean that I need, like, is it ×2? Why did they, I was trying to figure out if they just were changing randomly how they were articulating that you need to make 2 of each of these, or if it was actually different and it's actually different. So, fine. It's fine. It was just mildly confusing for a moment. All right, 25, 24. Don't get distracted, Angela. You started to clip it. I saw it. It was here. 25 is there. Or is here, where you start clipping, obviously. Oh. Hello, Robert. Welcome to the stream. They do look really cool. These sculpts are great. Absolutely. I really like the patterns on these pants that all these ghouls are wearing. They have glorious side stitching, because obviously your ghouls need to be able to unlace their pants at a moment's notice and just them off. I love the designs of these bloody vampires. It's so good. They are perfect. Goofy and everything that I love. No problem, Robert. It's lovely to have you here. Thanks for stopping by, even if you're just lurking in the background. That's cool. Nice. Good luck in your grind. Alright, that feels good. Let's go ahead and get these pieces glued together. They have settled into the new place, actually. The cats settled in a lot quicker than we originally anticipated them settling in. Now, Jack, our boy cat, I expected him to adapt pretty quickly. I wasn't sure exactly how fast it would be, just because it's a larger place than previously. And I do think for a little, like for a couple days, he was like, is the upstairs and the downstairs separate layers? And because he would like come up to the upstairs and just like sing very loudly in a mournful tone. Like he was confused about where we went. He's like, I'm lost. I'm lost. And then we would call out to him and he'd chill out because he realized, oh, they're still here. They're just downstairs. And I think he's gotten mostly over that. And my little girl, she actually only ended up hiding underneath our bed for about 2 days. Like she'd come out occasionally to get food, mostly because I coaxed her out with like treats and stuff and was like, no, I need you to learn to come downstairs, and because this is where you're gonna get fed. But beyond that, if she wanted to be upstairs under the bed, we just kind of let her do that. So they actually adjusted pretty well, and now both of them will consistently come and just hang out with us in whatever room we're in the place. So that's good. And honestly, I'm grateful because I was concerned as they're both older cats. Like Jack, my boy, turns 18 in 4 days, and then the girl. Oh, that's where it goes. Okay. I understand. He just has a big billowy shirt. My little girl, she's gonna be 17. I think in this fall. I'm actually not 100% sure when her birthday is. I only know his birthday because I need to be able to pick up his meds from CVS. But yeah, so they adjusted pretty well. To answer your other question about, or to answer Mikey's question about if we've finished unpacking, no. No, not even close. Now, we have actually been making pretty good progress on that. When we moved, we ended up basically just having, we have a 2-car garage. And so when we moved, I ended up just having all of the movers put, hey bud, you coming back in? You gonna meow at me because you want food? I'm not giving you food yet. We had all the movers just put our boxes, like all of the packed boxes, instead of into the individual rooms we wanted them into, because we have more rooms now. We weren't 100% sure how everything was gonna be laid out. We were just like, put it all in the garage, it'll be fine. It also saved them time because then they didn't have to like go upstairs and have us direct them, and it made it all faster, which was nice because it meant we didn't have to pay as much, because it's obviously based on the amount of hours that they work. So that was good. But did I matter? But yeah, so that was what we ended up doing with that. So not everything is unpacked, but we've made a big dent, is what I was trying to get to, basically. Is that we've made a big dent. We've been trying to, like, honestly, I'm extremely impressed, especially that my little lad has frankly made it to almost 18. Well, and I don't expect that will stop. Like, I don't think he's going anywhere. And want to come over here? Can I pet you? You want to come back over here so people can see you? No, you're just gonna be on your blanket. Fine. He doesn't love you guys right now. He doesn't want to be showed off. But yeah, considering he doesn't have a gallbladder and he has like stage 3 kidney failure, I'm really shocked he is doing as well as he is. He goes up, like, I was concerned both the cats were going to struggle with our stairs because they didn't really have to deal with stairs in any of our previous places much. While there were some stairs, they weren't going up and down them like actively. Whereas now they're very actively going up and down our stairs a lot. And so it just, like, they're both taking it really well. He is so disinterested.
I know.
He's like, no, I want food and nothing else. Like, he wouldn't even, like, come to me for pets. Hi. Yeah, you're good. Meow. Okay, I've activated him. Wait, I thought you were gonna feed me. Meow. No, father. I do not want that.
Do it for the people.
Do it for the people. Oh, you're so cute. Look at him. Yeah, we've been trying. We're pretty much been doing that. Like, this is the room we've unpacked the most because it was the most vital to us, like, getting back to content. So that's what we started with. And we've just been slowly, like, unpacking other things.
Admin.
Oh, well, thank you so much for the donation, Havman. You're very much appreciated. What am I doing? I need number 27 and 26, everybody. 20. Are you going to feed him?
Or should I wait?
What time is it?
I'll wait.
Wait, he gets fed at 3. He can wait until I'm done streaming. I'm only going until 3 today because I have a pre-release to go to and like an errand to run beforehand, and I just want to make sure I have enough time to do all that and probably also get dinner, I realize, because I'll probably want to eat. I probably want to have food in me before I go to the pre-release. Wait, are there 2 of these? Why do I have another 25? On 25 and 24. Do I have a second 24? The 24 was there. 2645. Did I put the wrong body? It's definitely the same body. What is going on? Am I? Oh, there are 2. Hold on. Hold on. That is so stupid! Games Workshop, you pieces of garbage. Okay. Remember how I, like, literally maybe 10, 15 minutes ago was like, okay, it's weird that they're calling it Thrall Lineman Pair A and Thrall Lineman Pair 2. It's the identical bodies. They just decided to, instead of giving me the indicator of, hey, okay, so on the vampires that I've been building, when they have alternate pieces, they go, sorry, I'm backwards. Let me point it out. Okay, they go, hey, look, you see this little circle with 3 shields in it? That means you've got options. And now they're saying, they've been like, we're not going to do that, and we're going to tell you ×2, okay? We're going to tell you ×2, and then show you that you have options. And then we're just going to give you 1 page. Now, we're going to go, here's a pair of them. You're going to cut out 25 and 24, and 30 and 29, and then we're just going to tell you the exact heads. You can't even see it. The exact heads to use, okay? And then we're going to flip the page, and we're going to have you do the exact same goddamn thing, except give you the other option. Why not do it the same way all the times? Like, that's stupid. Like, it's genuinely kind of annoying as just a, like, making it kind of overly complicated, I feel like. That, like, ugh. Is it just me? Am I making too much of a big deal about this? Am I just being butthurt? Probably just being butthurt, but like it genuinely kind of bothers me that they were done like that. Like, why switch up your how you were presenting information to people mid build? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. Rage. Brooklyn Rage. Wait, different system. You want the Squirrel Commander deck? That's the exact same one that Chaos Cultist wants. I'm gonna get the, specifically, I'm gonna get the, I want the raccoon. My little trash panda. I will be going to my pre-release event tonight, which I'm very excited for. Gordon, thank you so much for the donation. Aww. I will definitely make sure to give them treats on your behalf. It's so, like, it's just, why would you switch? Like, the last 1, 2, 3, so the last 6 models that I built were all displayed and articulated how to build them in the same presentation style. To change it just seems unnecessary, a waste of somebody's time in regards to designing 2 different templates to do it. Like, it just seems wasteful. Wasteful and then confusing. Because, like, imagine you're a kid and you hit that same thing, but you don't quite, like, deduce to check the guide to see if, like, you're going crazy or not. Like, I don't think somebody would necessarily get to that. They might just get pissed off and confused. And then be like, what am I doing? Am I doing something, like, why do I have these spare pieces? I mean, they eventually would probably figure it out. I just feel like it's very strange to switch up your presentation style in that regard. In a specifically guide to build something like a rule book type thing. You would think consistency would be key potentially there. Maybe it was designed by two different sides of the team. They were like, here, you get to design the construction of the vampires, and you get to design the construction of the ghouls. And then they just didn't coordinate on, like, how they did it, and then the person who put the book together was just like, well, we're not going to ask them to alter it or make it cohesive. That would delay things, and we can't do that. We're already behind, or this needs to go to the printer yesterday. And so then they just, like, move on with themselves. Careful of his little fingers, Angela. Don't push the fingers. Don't break the fingers. Don't that. Okay. I accidentally pressed on his little fingers a little much. Where's my other boy? Your fingers okay? Your fingers are fine. I fuck his fingers. It's gonna reinforce the fragile plastic. Smidge. Bonds. Go. I'm just gonna goop up your hand a smidge, okay? We're just gonna let you dry. You're gonna sit over there, and I'm gonna go back to my other friend, my other zombie friend, and we're gonna get his beautiful head, put it on his face. Or on his neck. Yeah, like if this is your first build, or like even only your like second or third build, I would be concerned that it would be a little discouraging. Maybe I'm downplaying the competence level of a modern new modeler, but as somebody who used to be a noob, that would have confused me and possibly made me go, what? And then I just would have wasted a lot of time trying to figure out what I was doing wrong, because I would have assumed it was me. Like, I would have assumed that, like, I wasn't reading the, like, book correctly or something like that. And, or, like, presumed that maybe the book was misprinted, build them, and then try to find the same head, and then been like, where is it? And then maybe just grabbed a random head and then completely thrown off everything else too. Like, I feel like there's potential for error. 27 and 26 are what we need. 27 and 26. P6. There's 27. I see 30. There's 26. Nice fisted hand, so I don't have to worry about screwing up somebody's little fingers. I always end up doing that. I always end up putting accidental pressure without realizing that I'm doing it on fingers, especially, but also sometimes hair strands. And then, you know, making it so that that like slight white line appears when you've started to bend the plastic, and if you bend it more, it's gonna just snap. Hello, Jackalack. Welcome back. There we go. God, these guys are going to be so fun to paint. They have an excess of just wonderful gothic-y details. Like, look at his chest. That's gonna be so fun to paint. I love how like all the little tears and like folds in his shirt. It's gonna be fun. Yeah, I definitely would, like, I mean, I did think I misstepped something. Oh well. It is what it is. I'm sure most people just, like, figure it out, but it's still sometimes an interesting choice. Oh my gosh, you're so munched. Goodness gracious, sir. I just did not blend his chin very well. I hate when I don't blend my chin very well. You guys ever have that problem? You're blending, you're just painting the chin, sculpting the chin, just looks like garbage. Oh, poor zombie. I guess he's not a zombie, he's a thrall. It's different, actually. Actually, I don't know. In Warhammer Fantasy Battles, are thralls humans who are just sort of like brainwashed / bloodlusted, essentially, to like addicted to their vampire masters sucking on them? Or are they actually undead creatures themselves? Basically, do they treat it like Vampire the Masquerade or not? Are the thralls like Vampire Masquerade thralls, or are they different types of thralls? Are they like zombie thralls? Because based on the outfits and posture of this thrall lineman that I'm working on, I think they're kind of zombies. Like, they're zombie-like. As opposed to humans who are just, like, in love with their vampire lords. It's very comfortable, Caveman. Don't worry. Thank you so much for asking. I'm really, really, absolutely loving my new space. Like, I adore it. Quite a bit. Alright, let's go ahead and get this other lineman built. Fingers have probably finished drying. I bent them. A fool! Okay, figured that very nicely. Good. All right, and then let's get the. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to punch the. All right, 31 and 28 are the other two that we need. 31, 28. It's 31. Okay, 31. 28. I don't know why I switched to the other sprue. I really should have just tried to kept all the Lucy bits on one sprue. What was I thinking? 28. Is that what I said? I think that's what I said, right? 28? Yeah, 28. All right, cool. We all need a vampire lady to give us a suck and make us her thrall. I mean, I know I want that. Oh, to be fair, I would take a vampire man. I'll take either. All right, you're from pair A. You're from pair B. Keep you separate. Alright, there we go. Hello, W Hunt. Welcome. We are definitely building some Blood Bowl. I've got my vampires and my thralls, and they're chilling. My other arm, I flipped it off. There we go. Here we go. Probably clean it up a little bit. It does, like, I agree, especially since this is not an older kit. Like, this is a very modern kit. It's a, like, I'm assuming it is to, like, the attempt with why they did it that way is to be like, yo, we're prioritizing. I mean, okay, I was gonna argue that maybe it's because, like, the first half is vampires, the second half is thralls. Maybe they wanted to, like, differentiate the fact that actually it's not even so much even that. I mean, it is still vampires and thralls, but, like, specifically it's your blitzers, your runners, and your throwers who are, like, more unique and have your slightly more complicated rules, like especially the blitzer in Blood Bowl, whereas the linemen are literally linemen, exactly like in football. Like, they're not, like, they don't normally get, like, special rules unless you've upgraded them to have that, which costs money in the game, etc. And so maybe it's to try to differentiate, like, these are important, like, these are your important guys and these are your less important guys. But it's still just, I don't know, I feel like it would have just been better to keep cohesive instructions rather than trying to artificially indicate importance, because I don't think most, like, new players are gonna pay attention to that. It's just gonna be a point of frustration, which is the last thing you want a new player to feel. Poor little sneezes. Skaven are really, like, volatile and very tough opponents in my experience. I believe when I was in my last league, Skaven and Dark Elves ended up being the final two teams that went to the like, the Super Bowl, essentially, for that league. It was wild. All right. I think we can get... I'm going to try to get one more lineman built. 30, 29, 31, 32. 39. And then we'll call it for the day. I want to get ready to start doing my errands and head to my game, obviously. All right, so 30, or sorry, 29, 30, which is right here. Good. 31 and 32. 31 and 32. 31. There. 32 is, it's the Bishi that I saw with my long-haired fella. Lovely. Okay, these are our pieces. Let's get them cleaned up. Get him assembled. Oh, that's your arm. That's why that looks so weird. I was, like, looking at his legs going, what is that blob on his legs? And it's his arm. It's his, like, right arm resting on his knee. some armor pieces in my cosplay closet. They were a little bit behind me, but I do have some like leather, or I guess they're probably faux leather. They're probably not real leather. Actually, one of them might be real leather. But I do have some armor-like pieces. But you're right, I don't have that much. I really want to get a full Sister Battle cosplay armor. Like, I don't have this. I don't have the talent for making that myself. At least not like at the moment. And I do not have the time at the moment to invest in gaining that talent. But it's something down the line that I want to do. Maybe I can find somebody who, like, locally who can help build one for me. I'm gonna do a little bit cleanup on this armor winged piece real quick. Got a little bit of a weird bulge on it from the sprue connection point, but I believe I have corrected the problem. Ah, no, you wouldn't have trouble playing Blood Bowl at all. Start with like the humans or the orcs or something like that for your first team. If you don't feel super, like, if you've not played a lot of tabletop games and therefore don't feel comfortable, like, going through a kind of chonkier rulebook than what you may be used to with, like, other simpler board games that maybe you are more familiar with, like stuff from Mattel and Hasbro. Like, the difference between, like, do I have it, actually? No, that's the deluxe rulebook for Twilight Imperium. I have it over there anywhere? Okay, I don't see it, but like the rulebook for Blood Bowl is about yay thick or so, maybe a little thinner. But it's a pretty hefty book. Now part of that is because they do a lot of illustrations and they give you examples, and there's a lot of like rules for specific teams, and they do go into each of those in the rulebook. So like, unlike with like Warhammer 40k, where you buy a codex, which is the rules for your army, and then you also get the core rulebook, which just tells you how to play the basics of the game and also gives you a massive amount of lore dump. Blood Bowl kind of does the same thing, not as much because there's not as much lore, because it's, I mean, the lore for Blood Bowl, to my understanding, is in back when Warhammer Fantasy Battles was a thing, this was a like gag thing that started where all of the groups of Warhammer Fantasy Battles were like, we're gonna put our differences aside and we're gonna start a sports league, y'all. And then they just kind of went crazy, and it was a goofy thing. And it was always intended to be goofy. Now, the thing that I will say about Blood Bowl, just going into it as a new player, Blood Bowl is an extremely volatile game. You are only using a very select small number of dice on average, most often 2. Like, you're only rolling like a few dice at a time, and because of that, your averages are going to be very volatile. What you roll will be inconsistent, because the larger number of a dice pool that you have, the more consistency you can expect in getting higher numbers or lower numbers. And in Blood Bowl, you don't have that consistency. But to me, that's part of what makes Blood Bowl fun, because it is inherently, like, the rules are designed for goofy things to happen with your rolls, and being able to either spend certain, like, resources to reroll, or do other things. And it's a very high energy, very volatile game that I think can frustrate some people. Like, some people really don't like it because it is so volatile. So just keep that in mind. And it's very self-contained, so you really don't need to know anything else. Like, I completely agree with W Hunt of it's very self-contained. Sometimes it can play slow because you are grokking all your rules and like figuring it out. So yeah, your first couple games may be kind of slow, but they also can like be very wild. Like weird things will happen. If you are throwing the ball to one of your players, do not expect them to catch it, or for the person throwing the ball to even successfully throw it. Just as an FYI, that's my rule number one, is if I'm going to either catch a ball, throw a ball, do anything with a ball, it's probably not gonna happen. And that's okay. That's okay. It's just part of the game. And then you cry later, and then you laugh about it and have a good time with your buds afterwards. And be like, man, I can't believe that thing happened. Can you believe that? Because you can have some really, like, wild things happen. Like, my Necromantic Horrors, one of the things that I remember happening is, I think it was, like, my blocker, which was, like, a giant ogre that had the rule where if you roll a certain, like, either a 1 or a 2, I think he just stops listening and will not do anything for you then that round. And it was great because he actually picked up a ball and scored me a touchdown. He's not supposed to do that, but he was down the field for some reason. I had gotten him there. It was sort of a desperate play. He ended up being able to pick up the ball and then, like, got it over the line and scored me a point, and it was dumb. It was dumb, but he got extra points for that, and I was able to, like, upgrade him a bit, and it was great. So, like, it's fun. There's fun things like that, and I also really like the leveling up system in Blood Bowl. Like, it's just such an entertaining game. There's a lot, I think, going on with it, and it can feel like, I'm not gonna lie, I do think if you don't feel super game literate, like if you would not consider yourself, like if you would not describe yourself as game literate, then it could potentially feel like a lot, but it's really not. It's actually quite straightforward. I think you'll grok it pretty well. I don't even think, like, your sports background, like your enjoyment of sports will probably allow you to, like, get into writing about your plays. Like, one of the things that I also really like about Blood Bowl is the fact that oftentimes the community that plays it really gets in to talking about and describing their games. And so they'll end up with, like, really fun reports written a la a football, like, write-up describing, like, a post-game, like, synopsis, and just, like, it's so cool. Like, I'm doing a terrible job describing it right now because I am not a sports fan, so I don't. But when commentators in wrestling give play-by-plays, it's like they're writing a play-by-play, like a post play-by-play of what's going on, and, like, giving feedback. And because Blood Bowl has these two commentators, like their own announcers slash are they just called commentators? Like, what are the dudes that are, like, talking about baseball? Yeah, they're called commentators, right? Okay, so the play-by-play commentators, like, they have, like, Blood Bowl has its own canon play-by-play commentators. Both of them are former players. One is Bob, and one is, I always forget the vampire's name, because I'm pretty sure Bob is the ogre. One of them is a vampire, one of them is an ogre, and they are amazing. Like, go look them up. Like, they are the best characters ever, and that's the end. Like, they sold me on the game. Their energy, the goofiness of them, the attitude in which Games Workshop presents it, that's what sold me on
Jim Johnson.
Oh, is it Jim and Bob? Is that okay?
Jim and Bob.
Yeah, Jim and Bob. So Jim is the vampire and Bob is the ogre. And they are fantastic. They're so funny. I love Jim.
It's Jim Johnson and Bob Bifford.
That's what it is. Jim. I didn't know his name was Jim Johnson.
Bob Bifford.
And Bob Biffer. Jim Johnson and Bob Biffer. Your Blood Bowl commentators. They're wonderful. I love them. It's one of the other reasons I wanted to play the vampires, because he's so good. I don't actually know if I watched the commercial that they did for the vampires that may have had him in it. I hope they did something extra with him, because he is himself a vampire, and that just seems appropriate. Head up at all. Why would they put a sprue bit there in your hair? Games Workshop. You guys are a piece of work sometimes. Quite the piece of work. Yeah, like post-game reports, exactly. People love writing post-game reports for Blood Bowl, especially their leagues. They are always entertaining because wild things happen. Like, because it's a volatile game, weird things happen, and characters that shouldn't be able to do certain things end up doing them. Characters that should fail miserably. You'll have crazy deaths, etc. Like, your team will get injured, and it'll be stupid. If they get pushed outside the court or of the playing field, the crowd will attack them, and they can die. There's a lot of good, fun silliness that can happen. Oh my, what's going on? There we go. Although I didn't clip that off the top of your head like an idiot. All right, well, we're gonna let you glue down and that up a bit. There we go. The lanky fella. This thrall lineman that I'm building. I feel like he's got very long arms. Long arms. Where's his other arm? There it is. It's gonna go on real easy. Boop. Beautiful. Come on. There we go. He's so handsome. I'm gonna make him look like Lestat. Because he's got long, flowing hair, and it just reminds me of Lestat. He would be so offended. It's like, I met God, and you made me a thrall? What the hell? Calm yourself, Lestat. It's fine. Props to anybody who knows who I'm talking about. I don't actually fully expect you guys to know, but maybe. See how many of you earn points. Yeah, still get 2 if you want to play the PlayStation game. Don't get 3, and don't get 1 because 1's just old. Now, if there's like a bundle for like 1 and 2, that's fine. Like, don't be afraid to get that. But just don't buy 3 solo because it's really not great. But yeah, the Blood Bowl is super. I'm being cautious because I want to set realistic expectations, and I know that you are not a tabletop gamer, and so I know that going from video games only to investing into tabletop is it can be a little bit of a jarring transition, because the way you were taught to play video games versus the way you were taught to play tabletop games is a completely different and experience. Like, it's just a different learning process. And that's why I'm being a little bit cautious when I tell you to like jump in. But I do think it is pretty easy to get into. And if you have Barnes and Nobles around you, I would highly encourage going in and seeing if they have Blitz Bowl sets, because from what I remember of Blitz Bowl is a simplified version of Blood Bowl. geared to teach you how to start playing. So while it may not use everything you'll see in Blood Bowl, like you may not have all your abilities and those kinds of things, it'll get you through the basics. And it starts you off with like 7 or 6 guys to build and paint. If you decide you want to paint them, you don't even have to paint them. You can just paint, like build them and use them as gray plastic. All the power to you. Yes. Well, very close, but Robert, you're in the right ballpark. You know, you were there. You're getting there. You know, it's Anne Rice. You guys are familiar with Anne Rice. Specifically, Interview with the Vampire is the one that I was referencing. But there is also the Vampire Lestat, and then Queen of the Damned. If you guys remember that glorious film, is the continuation of Interview with the Vampire. They didn't actually do a movie for the Vampire Lestat, which is the second book, because I'm a fucking nerd and I read them. But they like sort of combined that in with Queen of the Damned. Tactile Sun, lovely to see you, sir. Lovely to see you. Wrapping up building some thralls for my upcoming Blood Bowl team. Because the Hobby Collab, Meg, and her partner and a couple other people are putting together a game season of Blood Bowl, and I want to participate. So I'm working on my boys. Let's see. Okay, we've got our friends here. All right, you go. You're that pair. What time is it? Do I have? I can probably do like. Oh yeah, he's not the single body one, but we're gonna do this quick. 30 and 29 again. I clipped him off this one already. It's 29. It's so much fun, especially if you like volatile game systems. It's a really, really fun system, though. I like it because of the silly stories that happen, because of the ridiculous things that can happen during your gameplay, because of how volatile it is. I also enjoy the joke of praying and being absolutely just destroyed by Nuffle, who is the... I don't remember if he is a Warhammer specific... I think he's a Warhammer specific... Let me see. Oh, I'm going to my phone. I literally have a computer here. Nuffle. I actually did not know that that was what Nuffle looked like. So Nuffle is a chaos god whose sacred number is 11. And he basically is like... He determines whether or not your rolls will do what you want them to or not. And sometimes you pray to him very hard and he blesses you with the numbers you desire. And then other times he says, screw you, and he gives you snake eyes. And then you just die. And it's really funny. And you cry a little bit. No problem, man. I am glad to help. Oop. Okay, got him. That's 29. Did we already clip 30? Nope. Get these as close as possible. 29, 30, 26, and 33. Thirty is that lovely head. And then 36 is this lovely arm. No, 26, shit. It's okay, I need 36 for the next one, so it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. 26, 26, 26, 26. 30 clipped. Alright, there's 26. Okay. Alright. Go fast. Quick cleaning. Man, if I can get all these guys built in the next 15 minutes, that'd be amazing. Be a miracle of grand proportions for this channel. Me actually finishing a build on the stream that I started the build. Holy moly. What even will be happening? It's now a challenge. I'm now challenging myself. We're gonna go fast. I'm gonna not be paying as much attention to you. And crying a little bit as I try to get this done. Oh, your poor little shield is so beat up. It's intentional. It's intentional scuffing. It's fine. It's not actually like a problem. Like when I bent the poor lad's fingers earlier. Just something that I was noticing. Alright, there we go. Clean that. Lovely. Get that. Not bad, not bad. Oh, and there's a little smidge there that needs to be taken care of. Okay. I cleaned this arm already? I have! That just means we need to take care of the chin. His little chinny chin chin. Okay. Glue, glue. Go, go, go. Oh, it's so good. I mean, Neville can really fuck with you in any game system that involves dice, let's be honest, but he is very, very prominently spoken about in Blood Bowl, and that's part of why I love the game. It's the not serious nature in which I think Games Workshop sometimes handles it that really sets it apart from other game systems for me and why I enjoy it so much. Oh, I pressed too hard there. Split apart. Alright, let's try that again. And this time, don't shove him down so hard onto that piece. Let's flood the arm with a little bit of excess glue to really make that bond. I felt like I was getting a little bit of a weird gap. But I feel good about it now. Yes. Yes, that's fine. Okay, let's get his other arm. I'll put his head on. Ooh, that could be fun, getting a bold action force. What force do you think you'd want to get? Who do you want to play as? The store that my IPMS group meets up at has some bold action. And once things have settled down financially from the move and everything, it's something that I would love to... Is it bold action, actually? Or is it Flames of War? Now that I think about it. It might be Flames of War. It might be more Flames of War stuff. But it might be... I'll have to look now. Because I'm second guessing myself. Don't drop the head. That's what he said. There we go. Beautiful. He is majestic. All right, there you go, friend. 39 and 42. 42. I'm going to need 34, right? Yep, next time. All right, 39. Where did I drop the 42 hand? Oh no. Where did it go? I did clip it out, right? I'm pretty sure I did. There it is. Haha, I knew it. I knew I did it. Okay. Russians could be cool. I don't know if I've heard of Chain of Command. That's a really cool sounding one. What makes it different from Bolt Action? Because you said it's similar but different. Could you give me more details? 6, 36. Okay. Go. How much time do I? Less than 10 minutes. This isn't happening. 4 more guys to build. Such poofy sleeves. It's one of the reasons that this team is so good. Yes, because of their poofy sleeves, everybody. It's the poof sleeves. You cannot deny it. They are wonderful. They are majestic. Everybody wants them. They should bring them back into fashion, please. Please, poofy sleeve. Connect. Aha. How do you go on? Oh, you're facing down. That's why you're not working. Because I'm doing it wrong. There we go. Oh my god, it fits. It's almost like if I put it on correctly, it will work correctly. Oh, that's really cool. That sounds fun. Interesting. Kind of reminds me, like what you're describing actually kind of reminds me, not fully, but it gives me interesting Undaunted vibes. Undaunted is deck builder war game. For those of you that may be unfamiliar with it, I have talked about on the channel multiple times. I have a couple videos on it even. There's a new one that's coming out for Gen Con. I actually saw a video on it recently, or at least like footage from, I think like Gen Con's, I think they might be setting up the floors soon because I know it's happening in like August, I believe. I don't remember, like early August I think it is, but I'm not 100% certain. But like it's the sci-fi version, which is cool. Because before, all of the previous ones had all been very focused on World War II. So, because like they had one set in Stalingrad, which is the one that I have not picked up yet, but I really want to. And it's kind of giving me like vibes like that, but done with dice rather than cards. And probably miniatures rather than tokens. Oh, isn't it great? How many of them? Which ones have you played? Have you played all of them, or have you only played the OG? It's such a good game. Let that dry before we mess with him more. All right, we've already got 34 done. I'm being sloppy about my cleanup process, and that's what's throwing me down. It's because I'm trying to go fast. I want my team to be ready to be primed. Okay, 34, 35. That. The add-on reform. That's exactly what I have, Britt. I have Normandy, North Africa, and the add-on reinforcements. I haven't picked up Stalingrad yet, or isn't there a London? Is there? Okay, hold on. I need to look up now because why do I keep going to my phone when I have a computer right here? Undaunted games. Yeah, Battle of Britain. So I don't have Battle of Britain or Stalingrad, but I do have reinforcements North Africa and Normandy, just like you do. Oh, there was a Secret Cabal 2020 promo scenario. And then there's the new one, which is not out yet. Which is going to be a sci-fi based one. Like they're stepping away from World War II, which I had mixed feelings about, because one of the things that I really enjoy about the game is that it's historical. I thought that was really cool, and they've now removed that element, but that's okay. I still think it's probably going to be awesome. 37. 37. There you are. 37. Okay. 40. I see more why they swapped the style of how they were presenting their rules, and I still disagree with it. But it's because they're using the same pieces, like the same arms on different guys, and they didn't want to do ×2 to make you go, oh, I need to build this like ×2, and then have the wrong piece end up somewhere. So like I kind of get it, but I still think it's a bad. I feel like they could have done it, presented it a different way. I still feel like they could have presented it as the options. You just say, hey, you have this option, and then if you don't get that option, you have limited flexibility with what you do on your other models because you made a poor choice. Maybe they found too many people were making poor choices and regretting it and then being pissed off and complaining. Maybe that's what happened. And that's why they switched up their style, because it does seem like a very odd choice. Battle Systems does have great terrain. I have their sci-fi version, which I've used for both Shatterpoint, as well as Legion, as well as 40k, and it works great. Totally love that stuff. Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that they had a new Kickstarter. What is the Maladum set look like? Is it more gothic? This guy's ready to fight. He's got his fist up. He's like, I'm gonna punch you. And I will admit, I would not want to be punched by a thrall vampire. Alright, that's... Oh! Throw him, and then hopefully don't knock his head out of place. Speaking of heads, I needed to fix something on you. What was it? Ah, that little burr on your end. Alright, there we go. Fixed that. Fixed the hand that I worked because of leaving that burr on there. Okay. 2 more! We can do it. We can do it, guys. Need 39 and 41. 39. 39. 41. It's 41. It's the arm with the bat hanging off of it, which is super cool. $44 and 40. 40. There's 40. What? Ah, there it is. It's like, where's my 40? Shoot, I've lost it. It's fine. I got it. I found it. No one panic. I am very excited for Bloomburrow Lore Explorer. I am going to a pre-release event actually in a couple hours. Very excited for it. Hoping to get some fun, cute critters. Hoping to get some bats. I want a lot of bats, please. In my decks. That would be fantastic. Definitely will be doing some pack openings, probably on the channel for it down the line. Very much looking forward to that. So yeah, hyped about Bloomburrow. Are you going to any pre-releases or anything? Oh, it's for their new fantasy game stuff. So Dungeons and Ruins. That's really cool, Tactile Sun. It's awesome. I also miss when they used to have really cool White Dwarf articles about making your own terrain or kit bashing or building your own vehicles out of like soda cans and like that kind of stuff. Like the, hey, can you not afford our really expensive product? Here's a way for you to make it without having to buy our things. And like, it was so cool when they used to do stuff like that. It's such a bummer that they don't now. Are you excited about the lizards in the set? They are pretty good. There's one in particular that I've seen the card art for, and I just think he looks delightful. And I can't remember what the name of the card was. It was a lizard. He he was sort of dancing in fire, and he had his arms up sort of like this. Or sorry, he was stepping and moving in water, and he was casting fire spells of some variety, like, and he had his arms up, and they were kind of like doing this, and his legs were going the opposite direction, and it was so good. Like, it was such a cool looking piece of art. And I can't remember now like what the name of the bugger was, but he was so adorable. And I really like all of the looks of the new art. Like, the bunnies are my least favorites, but that's, like, even still, I like them. Oh, hope if I put his arm on correctly so that the bat was actually hanging correctly. So if I maybe got some more glue on there and cleaned up the connection point a smidge. Yeah, just saying that maybe that would help. All right, so instead of a falconer, we have a battener. The warrior mice are so good. Yeah, the mice are really cute. The bats are really cute. Yes, the Emberheart Challenger. I think that is the one that I'm talking about. It was just an adorable looking card. I like a lot of the birds too. A lot of the bird card art is gorgeous. Just really, they did a great job with their art this time. I think the concepts, like the gameplay elements, like with the paws and the gift giving, is a really nice iteration on some previous card types, which is really cool. Yes.
Have you had your eye on the clock?
I have. I am almost finished. I'm gonna finish up this one last guy. I have like one more after this. We should probably go soon though, right? Shouldn't we? Yes. What time is it right now?
3:40.
It's 3:40. Okay, then yeah, I'll go ahead and let me just get this arm and head on.
Sorry, folks.
No, it's okay. Oh, as I drop it. No. It's absolutely. I told them that we had the pre-release and such to go to. So
Yeah, I just want to make sure
we have Aaron.
a little bit.
Right, because we want to get food probably too.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, please, why? It's supposed to be positioned up. Got it. You're like, get in there. There we go. There we actually go. Okay, perfect. It's fantastic. Get a neck. Makes you never want to bite this particular vampire. Really, any of our vampires. They all have very gluey necks. Disgusting. And last guy, or second to last guy's head is in place. He is, oh man, he is nose down in that fist. Beautiful. All right, and then after that, we'll just have the one guy left. I'll do that off camera. Yes, that is an Akira box, you see. It's the box set for the 35th anniversary edition of it. But next to that, actually, you see where Chaos Cultist is pulling from? These are the original English printing editions of Akira in full color.
First edition.
It's first edition, English printing, full color. They are gorgeous. I love them. Like, I am going to.
But every page
is full color. Is that not amazing? We found this as like you found this as like
I bought these from a yard sale put on by a member of my local science fiction club.
And they were selling it for an extraordinarily.
I bought the entire thing for like $50.
Yeah, it was crazy.
2003.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's one of my most prized possessions. Yes. Okay. We didn't quite get them all finished because I talked too much. But we got almost all of them. I actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 models built for me in a single 2.5 hour or 2 hour 45-minute session is actually a vast improvement to some of my previous building sessions. So you know what? I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that as a positive. Woohoo! Go us! Yeah! All right, everybody. But I do think I'm going to have to go now because I want to get ready for the Bloomburrow pre-release event. I'm sure I'll be posting about that on my socials. So if you don't follow me already on Instagram, make sure to use the link tree below and give me a follow. You can also find all of my other socials there, as well as any way to support me. There's plenty of ways to do that, and I appreciate you guys for doing so. But in the meantime, I have been Angela. I hope you guys have an absolutely wonderful rest of your hobby day and hobby night, and I will see you guys next time. It was lovely hanging out with you. We're definitely going to keep doing more of this, and you will be seeing me probably start painting these lovely vampire lads very, very soon. Yeah, we'll probably be back online tomorrow, honestly. And maybe I'll finish this up and maybe get started on painting them, or we'll be doing video games. I don't really know yet, but we'll be back probably tomorrow. So I'll see you guys then. Until then, goodbye. Have a lovely night. And if any of you guys are going to pre-release tonight for Bloomburrow, I wish you luck in your drafts and your pulls, and that you get to get really cool cards. All right, guys. See ya.